Barely 3 months after Syria ended its more than a decade-long civil war, with the ousting of the then President Bashar Al-Assad, who fled into exile in Russia, another civil war broke out in the northwestern part of Syria on Thursday, which many observers, especially war monitors, described as the deadliest in recent history, with war monitors putting the human casualty figures at more than 1,000. But many local residents claim the numbers of human deaths recorded in the multiple clashes that continued till Sunday night may be more than 1,200, with Al-Jazeera showing a video footage of one of the war monitors uprooting dead bodies from shallow graves. The TV station said to be among the 230 Syria Security Operatives killed during the clashes, after deadly gunfiring ensued between armed groups loyal to the ousted Al-Assad and pro-interim government security operatives, which escalated to multiple attacks on civilians, and most of the civilians were killed in large numbers at their homes. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, SOHR, which monitors fighting in Syria, said about 745 civilians were killed in 30 massacres targeting Alawites on the west coast on Friday and Saturday, adding that the number of fighters killed in the past 4 days brings the total death toll to more than 1,000 people, which the Syrian Observatory Group said included about 125 fighters linked to the new Islamist-led government and 148 pro-Assad fighters. It was gathered that the violence erupted along the Mediterranean coast, a region predominantly inhabited by the Alawite minority, to which Assad belongs. Local observers said that the death toll is the highest since 2011, when Syria has been engulfed in civil war. Syria's interim president, Ahmad al-Shara, on Sunday called for national unity as international alarm grew over the violence. What is happening in the country are expected challenges. We must preserve national unity and civil peace in the country, Shara said at a mosque in Damascus he said he used to pray at 2 decades ago. We are capable of living together in this country, as much as we can, he added. The ongoing clashes are the worst outbreak of violence since Assad, a member of the minority Alawite sect, was toppled in December by Sunni Islamist militants who sought to reshape the country's political and sectarian order, according to CNN. Adding, Latakia and Tartus on the Mediterranean coast are areas where support among Syrian Alawites for Assad was strong. Alawites, some 10% of the population, were prominent in the Assad regime, and while many Alawites have surrendered their weapons since December, many others have not. The latest surge in violence highlights the challenges Syria's new regime faces in appeasing disenfranchised groups, especially those that remain heavily armed. Meanwhile, the United Nations Human Rights Chief, Volker Turk, in a statement on Sunday, published on the UN Human Rights website, said that the killing of civilians in coastal areas in northwest Syria must cease immediately. Following a series of coordinated attacks reportedly launched by elements of the former government and other local armed men, we are receiving extremely disturbing reports of entire families, including women, children and/or their combat fighters, being killed. There are reports of summary executions on a sectarian basis by unidentified perpetrators, by members of the caretaker authority's security forces, as well as by elements associated with the former government. The caretaker authorities' announcements of their intention to respect the law must be followed by swift actions to protect Syrians, including by taking all necessary measures to prevent any violations and abuses and achieve accountability when these occur. There must be prompt, transparent and impartial investigations into all the killings and other violations, and those responsible must be held to account, in line with international law norms and standards. Groups terrorizing civilians must also be held accountable. These events, as well as the continuous spike in hate speech both online and offline, illustrate once again the urgent need for a comprehensive transitional justice process that is nationally owned, inclusive, and centered on truth, justice and accountability, the UN Human Rights Chief stated. The U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio in a statement also on Sunday said that the United States condemns the radical Islamist terrorists, including foreign jihadis, that murdered people in western Syria in recent days. The United States stands with Syria's religious and ethnic minorities, including its Christian, Druze, Alawite, and Kurdish communities, and offers its condolences to the victims and their families. Syria's interim authorities must hold the perpetrators of these massacres against Syria's minority communities accountable, said Marco Rubio.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.